We are live, sir.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Sadguru Sri Virajeshwara Saraswati and the entire Guru Parampara on behalf of all of us. With the Sankalpa, today's discourse on Vivek Chudamani is being commenced. Sarvarigu Namaskaragal. We start with the Mangalacharana shlokas or Prarthana shlokas. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smuti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakrutam Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Harihi Om. Last time I think we had completed the shloka number 55 in the Viveka Chudamani, the Mahan Prakarana Grantha written by Sri Acharya Shankara Bhagavat Pada. And as repeatedly I have said, the explanation on Viveka Chudamani or the commentary on the Viveka Chudamani is mainly based on the commentary or bhashyam given by Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal, Jagadguru Shankaracharya of Sringeri Sharada Peeth. The last time Sadguru is telling the disciple or the Shishya here in Viveka Chudamani, as Acharya writes, giving some examples how personal, individual, constant self-effort is required in order to enter into the spiritual mode of sadhana, in order to obtain, as we colloquially call, Brahmajna, or in order to get himself released from the bondage of samsara. How self-effort is very much essential. So without the self-effort initially, nothing can be done. Sadguru was talking on this. So the initial efforts are from our side. Earlier, please remember, in the earlier one of the shlokas, Acharya has mentioned this point very clearly. In one of the earlier shlokas, Uddhared Atmanatmanam Magnau Samsara Varidhau. The shloka starts like that. Uddhared Atmanatmanam Magnam Samsara Varidhau. So we have to uplift ourselves means we have to start trying ourselves. Self-effort. Without our self-effort, even God cannot help. There is a saying, common saying, most of us we know that. Only when I take one step towards God, that means when I turn towards God and take one step earnestly, the God will take 10 steps towards us. So if I don't start with my own steps, God residing in our own heart may not be of any help at all, but He is only a pure witness. So the Sadguru continues today. Now in the next shloka, na yogena na sankhena karmana no na vidyaya brahmatmaikatva bodhena moksha siddhyati nanyatha. This is a landmark shloka again. Na yogena na sankhena karmana no na vidyaya ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾತ್ಮೈಕತ್ವ ಬೋಧೇನ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಸಿದ್ಧ್ಯತಿ ನಾನ್ಯಥಾ. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಸದ್ಗುರು ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ನಿಜವಾದ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಬರದೆ, ಆತ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಆಗದೆ, ಭಗವತ್ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಆಗದೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀನು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಟ್ಟರೂ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಯೋಗದಿಂದಾಗಲಿ, ಸಾಂಖ್ಯದಿಂದಾಗಲಿ, ಕರ್ಮಗಳಿಂದಾಗಲಿ, ವಿದ್ಯೆಯಿಂದಾಗಲಿ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಮೇಲಿನ ಅರ್ಥ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಆತ್ಮ ಏಕತ್ವ ಭಾವ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಫುಟವಾಗುವ ತನಕ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಮೇಲಿನ ಅರ್ಥ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದ್ದು. Sadguru is making very clear in the shloka to the disciple that only by the highest non-dual Atmajnana, that is Brahma Padartha, Parabrahma Vastu, the absolute as we call in English, the Vedantic term, and the Atma residing in our heart as the Parama Chaitanya, both are one and the same. See, with this jnana, it's called Abheda Jnana. Atma and Paramatma are one and the same. Brahma Atma Ekatva Bodhena means the same thing. Ekatva means they are one and the same. So ultimately, without realizing this, directly experiencing this, without this direct experience, moksha, liberation, salvation cannot occur. Liberation means getting away from the cycle of birth and death. It happens only by Brahma Atma Ekatva Bhava. And in the first Charana, Acharya is making very clear, by any other means if you try, well, it may give you some results, no doubt. You may incur some punya, no doubt. But any other method will not lead you to moksha. What are the other methods? Na yogena, na sankhyena, na karmana, na vidyaya. See, these keywords Acharya is using here. Not by yoga, not by sankhya, not by actions or karmas, and not by vidya. You reach or you experience this moksha or liberation. Now, what does it mean? Here, two keywords are there. Na yogena, na sankhyena. These words are very important. Sometimes it will lead to some confusion in the beginners who have not been introduced to Vedantic terms. Beginners, when I say like that, who have heard the name, but they don't exactly decipher the meaning, because sometimes a single word will give you different meanings in Sanskrit language. And also sometimes it is confusing about what we have thought and what actually it is. There is a difference. ಯೋಗ ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಂಖ್ಯದಿಂದ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಲ ನಮಗೆ ಸಂಶಯಗಳು ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯೋಗ, ಪತಂಜಲಿ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳ ಯೋಗ ದರ್ಶನ, ಅದು ಒಂದು ದರ್ಶನ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ನಮ್ಮ ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ. ಪತಂಜಲಿ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳು ಬರೆದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಯೋಗ ಸೂತ್ರಗಳು, ಯೋಗ ದರ್ಶನ, ಅದು ಒಂದು ದರ್ಶನ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರವೇ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಸಾಂಖ್ಯ ಯೋಗ, ಸಾಂಖ್ಯ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕಪಿಲ ಮಹಾಮುನಿಗಳು, ಕಪಿಲ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳು ಬರೆದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸಾಂಖ್ಯ ದರ್ಶನ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತ. ಎರಡೂ ನಮ್ಮ ದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಇದರಿಂದ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ? ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದಿ ಟೂ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬಿಟ್, they give some sort of a question mark in our mind. Normal people. Na yogena, not by yoga you are liberated, Acharya say here. What does that mean? The yoga darshana of Patanjali Maharshi, everyone follows that. Ashtanga yoga is there. Yama, niyama, asana, pratyahara, pranayama, dhyana, dharana, siddhi, samadhi. And Sankhya philosophy is there. By following that, you don't get moksha means what? And for some, not all, please remember, for some, another doubt will come here in their minds if they are little well read. Remember, Lord Krishna Paramatma uses the word Sankhya in Bhagavad Gita itself. In Bhagavad Gita, he praises the role of Sankhya Yoga, the root of Sankhya Marga. It is one of the highest, Jnana Marga, he says. Sankhya means Jnana. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord says. Then, what is that Sankhya word Lord is referring in Bhagavad Gita? What is the Sankhya word here Acharya is referring in Vivek Chudamani? Both are slightly different. The Sankhya word in Bhagavad Gita, we are not going into detail. It refers to pure
Sir, we cannot hear you. You are muted, sir.
Now?
Now we can hear you, sir.
Yeah, I don't know. I never touched anything. Is it okay now?
It is okay now, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So, the Sankhya, by following, and the Yoga Shastra, Yoga Sutras following, moksha or liberation is not granted, as Acharya puts in here. Na yogena, na sankhena, karmana, no, na vidyaya. Na karmana, na vidyaya. It comes later. Because, as per the commentary given by Jagat Guru Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal, he writes very clearly that the Sankhya Darshana and Yoga Darshana, both, ultimately, they propound duality. They are in Dvaita Bhava. They don't subscribe to Advaita philosophy at all, because in both the cases, Yoga Sutras and Sankhya Darshana, the individual Jivatmas in individual bodies, they're all different individuals. So there is plurality of Jivas here, and the Paramatma is entirely a different entity. Duality is there. So Jivatma, Paramatma are totally different. Totally different. So Dvaita Bhava is there in the final analysis. That is why, because of the Dvaita Bhava, they cannot reach the Advaitic heights of Brahmajnana. Because the The main purport in Advaita is Atma and Paramatma are one and the same. Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. But here in both the cases, Jivatma is different, Paramatma is different. So that is the main point. So that is why Acharya is very clear. Na yogena, na sankhena, na karmana, na vidyaya. Na karmana means by following all sorts of actions as given in Vedas, all sorts of sacrifices, all sorts of yajnas and homa, havana, stuti, vratas. These are the karmas. Liberation cannot be granted. You will accrue punya, that is there. You go to heaven, that is correct. They're all good things, correct. But they won't give you liberation. They won't entitle you to moksha by following the karmas as given in Vedas. And na vidyaya, Acharya Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswami writes the commentary here. Na vidyaya means even by any other form of upasanas. Upasana. That is the lower level upasana leading to worshipping different gods, thinking that they are different from each other, doing a lot of pujas, going to the temples. All the lower level bhakti or upasana come under vidya, or only the book knowledge. Only book knowledge. Without following advice of a Sadguru, let me read myself the books and then try to understand and try to do sadhana by going through the book. So that also comes under vidya. So all these things will not lead to liberation. Only by experiencing Brahma Atma Ekatva Bhava. The key word in the entire Viveka Chudamani is this. Ultimately, we should remember Brahma Atma Ekatva Bhava. That is Sarvatma Bhava. That's what he says. And there is a Upanishad mantra is also there in Shvetashvatara Upanishad regarding this point. Shvetashvatara Upanishad says in one of the famous mantras, Tamema viditvati mrutyumeti nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. Tameva viditva ati mrutyumeti nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. That means the Shvetashvatara Upanishad says, Tameva viditva, by knowing only that Parabrahma Vastu as the only one, Ekam Eva Advitiyam, by knowing only that Vastu, that Brahma Vastu, that Brahma Padartha, Tameva viditva, Mrutyum Ati-eti, you will cross over the death. Mrutyum Ati-eti, by knowing him only, you cross over the death. Nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. There is no other way. There is no other route. Absolutely, there is no other way to reach that Brahma Padartha. There is no other way. Nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. To reach Godhead, there is no other way. You have to experience, you have to know him personally. You should become one with him. That is Advaita Bhava. Brahma Atma Ekatva Bhava. Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Next, Acharya gives here again small examples, beautiful examples. Next sloka, to hammer this point in our mind. Veenaya Rupa Saundaryam Tantri Vadana Saushtavam Prajaranjana Matram Tanna Samrajyaya Kalpate. Veenaya Rupa Saundaryam Tantri Vadana Saushtavam Prajaranjana Matram Tanna Samrajyaya Kalpate. ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ವೀಣೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಗೀತ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ವಾದ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದದ್ದು. ವೀಣೆ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿದೆ, ತಂತಿಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಆ ತಂತಿಗಳನ್ನ ಮೀಟೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ವೀಣಾ ವಾದನ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಮಾಧುರ್ಯ, ಆ ಸಂಗೀತ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ರಂಜನೆ, ಆಮೋದ ಅಥವಾ ಸಂತೋಷ, ಸುಖವನ್ನು ನೀಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹಿತವಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ, ಕರುಣಾನಂದಕರವಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ವೀಣೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೇ ಮೈ ಬರಿಬಹುದು, ಆದರೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಾ? ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಟ್. ಸಾಮ್ರಾಟ್ ಭಾವ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಮೋಕ್ಷ. ಬಹಳ ಸುಂದರ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ. Acharya gives this example in such a simple way. Bhagavad Pada says, see, the musical instrument veena is there in our Indian system of music. It is so enchanting music. When you start playing the veena, the musical notes, how they come out, and then they will spellbound both the person who is playing the veena and the audience listening that music. It will be so divine, the music emanating from the instrument called veena. Correct? But by that, samrajyaya na kalpate. By that, liberation cannot be achieved. However much it is enchanting to your mind and to your ears, you are spellbound. So any music now you take, whether it's a vocal or instrumental, as long as it is there, you are carried away with emotions of joy and pleasure, ecstasy. Any music, vocal or instrument, throughout the world, everyone has experienced. At that moment, you are out of the world while listening to that. Totally you are carried away, your mind subdued, sort of a concentration, a sort of a pleasant feeling, correct? But once it stops, there ends the matter. So even this music, though enchanting, will not lead to moksha. Samrajyaya na kalpate. It won't give you moksha. So it is only by the Guru's upadesha. Only when a Sadguru is there, you follow his advice, listen to him, Shravana, Manana, reflect upon what he says. Constant reflection called Vichara. Vichara mark, inquiry, self-reflection. Shravana, Manana followed by meditation, Nididhyasana, constant meditation. So these three things are our initial efforts. Shravana, I have to listen attentively, with concentration, with devotion, with conviction, belief what Sadguru says. Then Manana, I must reflect every time what he said is correct. This is what he says. Exactly, have I understood his points? Or is there a doubt in my mind? What exactly? What exactly is Atma? What exactly is Paramatma? What is this Brahma Atma Ekatva Bhava? How I should realize it? So who is this body talking? Mind talking. Who is this mind? Who is Buddhi? So this all comes under Manana, reflection, contemplation. See, contemplation, reflection is also called self-inquiry, Vichara Marga. Understood? So without, and then followed by meditation, Nididhyasana. Constantly, with a total Shraddha and belief, with Shraddha and Bhakti, I must sit, follow the directions of the Sadguru, and do my part, my bit, that is meditation. Initially, I have to start. I have to do Nididhyasana. Actually, the word Nididhyasana means, in short, constantly dwelling on the Brahma Padartha. Nididhyasana actually means you must always remember that you are that Brahma Padartha. You are that Parama Chaitanya. You are not the body at all. You are not the mind. You are not the indriyas or organs or sensory organs or motor organs. You are not the hand, you are not the leg, you are not the eye, you are not the ear, nothing of that. The whole world appearing in front of you, conceived by the great delusion, what we Acharya calls later, we take up Maya. We are bound by that which we don't know. So everything is anatma. They are anatma. Earlier it was used, these words. So this is what is called nididhyasa. Suddenly there is some deviation. I think the one point is flashing here in the mind by the Guru Sankalpa. I may have to take 1 or 2 minutes here. Several people, the questions have come. A very interesting, very important question has come to me in the last 15 days. That, sir, you are always talking about meditation, meditation, meditation. In Vivek Chudamani, Acharya says, sir, what is this meditation? We don't know anything about meditation at all. We have heard the word, that's all. ಈ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಧ್ಯಾನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲೂ ಅದೇ ಇದೆ, ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡಿ, ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡಿ, ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡಿ. ನಮ್ಗೇನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಧ್ಯಾನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ನಮಗದು ಹೆಸರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಈ ತರ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಸೊ I don't know much about all these things. Whatever Guru has told me, for the sake of my fellow Atmaya Bandhus who have not yet started meditation, who have only heard the word meditation, my Atmaya Bandhus who don't have any Guru in their lifetime so far, they are groping in the dark. For such people only, not for all the other Guru Bandhus or sadhakas who are already advanced in the spiritual journey, not for them, please. It is only for the sake of people who have asked this question to me. What is meditation? What is the simple way of meditation? Please tell. So whatever is coming into the mind, I am just telling here in 1 or 2 lines. Please bear with me. See what is this meditation? How to do? Now, in whichever field of life you are in whichever walk of the life you are in, ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಿ, ಹೇಗೆ ಇರಿ, ಅದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯರಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ವಿನಂತಿ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ 5 ನಿಮಿಷ, ಕೇವಲ 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದ 24 ಗಂಟೆನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಸರಿ 5 ನಿಮಿಷ, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ, ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ, ರಾತ್ರಿ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ಅನುಕೂಲವೋ ಆ ಸಮಯ 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಧ್ಯಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಮೀಸಲಿಡಿ. ನೀವು ಧ್ಯಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಸಾಕು. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ನೀವು ಸ್ವಸ್ಥವಾಗಿ ನೆಲದ ಮೇಲೆ ಚಾಪೆ ಅಥವಾ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಹಾಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಬರೀ ನೆಲದ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡೋದು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಗೋಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಗೆ ಕೂಡೋದು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಗೋಡೆಯನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಆಸನ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಪದ್ಮಾಸನ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಅಂತಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಸಿದ್ಧಾಸನ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಅಂತಾಗ್ಲಿ, ವಜ್ರಾಸನ ಅದೇನು ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಸುಖಾಸನದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಚ್ಚಿಕೊಂಡು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇಷ್ಟ ದೇವತೆಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಗಣಪತಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಿರ್ವಿಘ್ನಕಾರಕ ಗಣಪತಿಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಒಂದು 3 ಸಲ ಓಂಕಾರವನ್ನ ಉಚ್ಚಾರ ಮಾಡಿ, ಓಂಕಾರವನ್ನ ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಉಚ್ಚಾರ ಮಾಡಿ, ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳು 5 ನಿಮಿಷ. ಏನು? 2 ಥರ ಇದೆ ಧ್ಯಾನ. ಬಹಳ ಸರಳವಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋರು ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದು ಉತ್ತರ, ಉಳಿದವರಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಮಹಾತ್ಮರಿಗಂತೂ ಅಲ್ವೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರುಬಂಧುಗಳಿಗಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. 2 ಥರ ಇದೆ ಧ್ಯಾನ. 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಚ್ಚಿ. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು? ಒಂದು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಉಸಿರು ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರೋದನ್ನ ಗಮನ ಇಟ್ಟು ನೋಡಿ, ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡಿ. ಬಹಳ ಸುಲಭ. ಉಸಿರು ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಉಸಿರು ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ನೀವು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಉಸಿರಾಟ ಇರಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, 5 ನಿಮಿಷ, ಮತ್ತೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಎರಡನೇ ವಿಧಾನ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಉಸಿರು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸೋಹಂ ಶಬ್ದದ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಉಚ್ಚಾರಣ ಶಬ್ದವನ್ನು ಹೇಳೋದು. ಉಸಿರು ಬಿಡೋ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳು. ಬಹಳ ಸುಲಭ. ಸೋ ಹಂ, ಸೋ ಹಂ, 5 ನಿಮಿಷ. ಮತ್ತೇನಾದ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಮತ್ತೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿ. 2 ಮೆಥಡ್, ಈ 2 ಪ್ರಕಾರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಒಂದು 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಮನೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ಒಂದು ರೂಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಯಾರು ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಬಂದು ಮಾತನಾಡಿಸಬಾರ್ದು. ಎಲ್ಲ ನೀವು 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಜಗತ್ತನ್ನ ಮರ್ತು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇ ಯೋಚನೆ ಬರ್ಲಿ, ಅದೇನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬೇಕಾದ ಥರದ ಯೋಚನೆಗಳು, ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿ, ಏನೂ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಹೇಳೋ ಹಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? ಮುಂದೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೀವು ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನನಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಈ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ 1 ತಿಂಗಳು, 2 ತಿಂಗಳು, 3 ತಿಂಗಳಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಹೇಗಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್, ಧ್ಯಾನ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ, it is, I'm just giving out basic versions to start with. 5 minutes a day, any time of a day convenient to you. No rules here. You sit on a mattress, not leaning onto the wall. Invoke the blessings of Lord Ganapati and your Ishtadevata. Chant Omkara 3 times and then close your eyes and start. There are 2 ways of simple meditation. Number 1, observe your breathing in and breathing out, how the air is entering in. Only observe the passage of the air through your nose or nasal openings, how the air enters in and air goes out. Breathing in, observe. Breathing out, observe. That's all. Breathe in and breathe out, observation. Let hundreds of thoughts flow, doesn't matter. Switch off your mobile. Tell your people not to disturb you for 5 minutes. Close the door if the room is there. In any convenient position, you sit cross-legged. It need not be Padmasana, Ardha Padmasana, Vajrasana, whichever suitable way you can cross-leg and sit, that is enough. Don't lean on a wall at the back. Your body should be at right angles, straight back and straight neck. Simple. 5 minutes a day. I'm not asking anything else. You do whatever you want in your life. That is nothing to do with this 5 minutes meditation. You start like that. Please. See yourself the results within 3 months. Earnestly, I'm requesting you. With folded hands, I'm requesting you. This is meant for those people, what I'm talking, who absolutely don't know anything about meditation. They want to do. They don't know what to do. Lot of questions. You start with this. Let us see how inner transformation occurs. You yourself will be a witness. Then you will be telling others also in your family. Let them also join. 5 minutes a day. I'll stop that point here. Hari. So the next 2-3 shlokas Acharya Bhagavad-pada is giving here again. How difficult the spiritual path. How we get carried away in this path. How our mind gets deluded in this path. How we become confused in this spiritual path. He gives examples. वाग्वैखरी शब्दझरी शास्त्र व्याख्यान कौशलम वैदोष्यम विदुषाम तद्वत् भुक्तये न तु मुक्तये. वाग्वैखरी शब्दझरी शास्त्र व्याख्यान कौशलम वैदोष्यम विदुषाम तद्वत् भुक्तये न तु मुक्तये. शास्त्र व्याख्यान कौशल शब्दझरी वाग्वैखरी ವೈದುಷ್ಯಂ ವಿದುಷಾಂ. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು 1200 1300 ವರ್ಷದ ಹಿಂದೆಯೇ ಅವರು ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಪ್ರಪಂಚವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸರು, ಘನತೆವೆತ್ತ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸರು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರವಚನಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಜನಗಳನ್ನು ಮರಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಆಗಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲೇ ನೋಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಮಾತಿದು, ಈಗಿಂದಲ್ಲ. ಈಗಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲೂ ಅನ್ವಯ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸರಿಗೆ ವಾಗ್ವೈಖರಿ ಶಬ್ದಜರಿ, ಅವರು ಅವರ ಮಾತಿನ ರಭಸಗಳು, ಶಬ್ದಗಳು, ಪ್ರಯೋಗ ರೀತಿ, ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ವಿವರಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪಾಂಡಿತ್ಯ, ಕೌಶಲ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮುಂದಿದ್ದಾರಪ್ಪ, ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರಪ್ಪ ಮಹಾಪಂಡಿತರು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ತಮ್ಮ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಪಾಡಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಅದು ಮುಕ್ತಿಗಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಕೇವಲ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ, ಕೇವಲ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಪಾಂಡಿತ್ಯದಿಂದ, ಕೇವಲ ಮಾತುಗಳಿಂದ ಜನಗಳನ್ನ ಕುಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಮೈಕ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತನಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಜನಗಳು ಮಂತ್ರಮುಗ್ಧರಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೇಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೇವಲ ಉದರ ಭರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಸಹಾಯ ಆಗತ್ತಷ್ಟೆ. ತದ್ವದ್ಭುಕ್ತಯೇ ನತು ಮುಕ್ತಯೇ, ನತು ಮುಕ್ತಯೇ. And Acharya is giving such a wonderful example here. See, there are scholars, there are speakers, born speakers. They have such a beautiful skill, excellent skill in their speech pattern. They have proficiency in the language. They have proficiency, depth in the Shastras. They are scholars by themselves. With all that, everything they do, they give a lot of discourses, spiritual discourses. It's only meant for making more money so that they can live and maintain their family, but that won't give liberation. Tadvat bhuktaye. All these things they do for the sake of earning wealth and money and popularity, not for liberation, not for moksha prapti. That is the example. That is the example Acharya is taking. Even that is becoming true even today. If you look upon what Acharya said 1200 years ago, is also true even today in the year 2020. And next he makes one point further, very, 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 very clear cut. अविज्ञाते परे तत्वे शास्त्राधीतिस्तु निष्फला. विज्ञातेपि परे तत्वे शास्त्राधीतिस्तु निष्फला. अविज्ञाते परे तत्वे शास्त्राधीति तु निष्फला. विज्ञाते अपि परे तत्वे शास्त्राधीति तु निष्फला. A paradoxical statement, literal sense if you take, literal sense. What he says here? Avijñate pare tattve or vijñate api pare tattve. Whether you know the paratattva, whether you know the Brahma Padartha, that means whether you know the absolute truth or you don't. That means whether you know or not, the learning of the Shastras is of no use. Literal sense. If you explain, if you go deeper into the shloka, Acharya is conveying here is a deep sense. Beautiful insight is there in the shloka. Avijñate pare tattve shastradhiti tu nishphala. Whatever scholarship you have acquired by learning Shastras, Vedanta, Vedantic books, Vedantic scriptures, whatever, if you don't know the supreme truth. That means, after learning all the Vedic scriptures, holy scriptures, Shastras, Veda Vachanas, Upanishads, whatnot, if you are not still liberated, avijñāte pare tattve, if you still don't know the supreme truth, means if you are not realized, all your learning is a waste. All your learning is a waste. Totally waste. ಆತ್ಮತತ್ವವನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳದೆ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವಾಗದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಬರದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ, ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಓದಿದ್ರು ಅದು ನಿಷ್ಫಲ. ಮೊದಲನೇ ಚರಣ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ. ಎರಡನೇ ಚರಣ, ವಿಜ್ಞಾತೇಪಿ ಪರೇ ತತ್ವೇ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಾಧೀತಿತ್ತು ನಿಷ್ಫಲ. ವಿಜ್ಞಾತೆ ಅಪಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ if you are a realized Mahatman, if you are a realized sage, if you are a Brahmajnani yourself, you have reached. What is to be done, it is done already. What is to be procured, already procured. What is to know is already known. So if you are a Brahmajnani, if you are a knower of the truth, then also learning of the Shastras is of no use. For a Brahmajnani who has reached the pinnacle, there is nothing else to know. For him, Shastras are of no use. He need not read any more Shastras. That is the point. Again, Acharya comes back with another example. Our Gurudev was fond of the next shloka. First charana always he used to recite. He used to say, short phrases, our Gurudev. Pujya Gurudev. The first charan. Shabdajalam maharanyam chitta brahmana karanam ata prayatnat jnatavyam tattvamatmanah. Shabdajalam maharanyam chitta brahmana karanam ata prayatnat jnatavyam tattvamatmanah. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಅತಿ ಪ್ರಿಯವಾದಂತಹ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಚರಣ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಗುರು, ಶಬ್ದಜಾಲಂ ಮಹಾರಣ್ಯಂ ಚಿತ್ತ ಭ್ರಮಣ ಕಾರಣಂ. ಚಿತ್ತ ಭ್ರಮಣ ಕಾರಣಂ, ಭ್ರಮಣ ಕಾರಣ. ಇಟ್ ಡಿಲ್ಯೂಟ್ಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್, ಇಟ್ ಟೋಟಲಿ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. ಚಿತ್ತ ಭ್ರಮಣ ಕಾರಣ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನ ವಿಭ್ರಾಂತಗೊಳಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಗೊಳಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಮೋಸಗೊಳಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಶಬ್ದಜಾಲಂ ಮಹಾರಣ್ಯಂ. ಈ ಶಬ್ದಗಳ ಸಮೂಹ, ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳ ಸಮೂಹ. ಶಬ್ದಗಳ ಸಮೂಹ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರವನ್ನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಮ್ಮೆದುರಿಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಉಪದೇಶ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ನಿರ್ವಚನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ಕೇಳಿ ಕೇಳಿ ಅಂತ. ಎಲ್ಲ ತರದ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳ ಆ ನಿರ್ವಚನ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಕೇಳೋದು ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಶಬ್ದಗಳಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅವರ ಉಪದೇಶವನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಮಗದೊಬ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಿವಿಲಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಅದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸು, ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರಣ್ಯ ತರ, ಮಹಾರಣ್ಯ. ಶಬ್ದಜಾಲ ಮಹಾರಣ್ಯಂ ಚಿತ್ತ ಭ್ರಮಣ ಕಾರಣ. That's what. See, by Shabdajalam, Acharyas, by reading so many different types of scriptures, different types of adhyatmic books, different types of spiritual books, by reading and listening different schools of spirituality or Vedantic philosophical thoughts, by reading simultaneously, listening simultaneously the Advaita school of philosophy or Advaita Darshana, Vishishta Advaita Darshana, then Dvaita Darshana, Shakti Vishishta Advaita Darshana, Kashmir Shaivism Darshana, Dravida Siddha Advaita Darshana, like that. So, by listening to varieties of schools of thoughts, varieties of darshanas, darshana shastras, and by listening to, reading and then listening to such scholars who expound their philosophy, who are very good speakers, listening to them and reading, listening and reading, what happens? Your mind gets totally deluded. Chitta Brahmana Karanam. So that is why Acharya says, Ata Prayatna Jnatavyam Tatvajnat Tattvamatmanaha. Ataha Prayatna. That is why by your personal effort, by constant effort, you must go to a single Sadguru who is proficient in this Advaitic philosophy, proficient, who is Atmajnani, who is a Tattvajnani, who can dispel your ignorance and give you the Upadesha on Brahma Atma Ekatva Bhava. Such a Sadguru you must go. You must make an effort to go. Prayatna. You must go to such a Tattvajnani. Then Atma Tattvavanna Jnatavyam. Then you must listen the Atma Tattva through him only. If you go to different people giving out different versions of their philosophy, you totally get confused. That's the meaning here. That's the meaning here. So you must go to one single realized sage or a realized master or a Brahmajnani and follow his instruction very correctly with faith and conviction. Faith and conviction. Then he makes it very clear again in the next sloka. Ajnana sarpa dashtasya brahmajnanaushadham vina kimu vedescha shastraischa kimu mantrai kimu aushadhai. Ajnana sarpa dashtasya brahmajnanaushadham vina kimu vedescha shastraischa kimu mantrai kimu aushadhai. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಹಾವು ಕಚ್ಚಿದರೆ ಆ ಹಾವು ಕಚ್ಚಿದಾಗ ಅದರ ವಿಷ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಔಷಧಿಯನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಔಷಧಿ ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಪಾಯ ಕಟ್ಟಿಟ್ಟ ಬುತ್ತಿ. ಆ ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಜ್ಞಾನ ಎಂಬ ಸರ್ಪ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಕಚ್ಚಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವ ಔಷಧದಿಂದ ಅದು ಗುಣ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೇವಲ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಎಂಬ ಔಷಧದಿಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಜ್ಞಾನ ಎಂಬ ಸರ್ಪ ಕಚ್ಚಿದಾಗ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ದುಷ್ಟ ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಹೊರಟೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಜ್ಞಾನ ಅಥವಾ ಅವಿದ್ಯೆ ಎಂಬ ಹಾವಿನಿಂದ ಕಚ್ಚಲ್ಪಟ್ಟವನಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಔಷಧಿಯಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವೇ ನಿಜವಾದ ಔಷಧಿ. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರೀ ವೇದಗಳು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳಿಂದ ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ, ಮಂತ್ರಗಳಿಂದ ಔಷಧಿಗಳಿಂದ ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಅಂತ ಈ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕಿಮು ವೇದೈಶ್ಚ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರೈಶ್ಚ ಕಿಮು ಮಂತ್ರೈ ಕಿಮು ಔಷಧಿ. That means ultimately what he says, when you are bitten by the snake called ajnana, the ignorance. Ajnana means ignorance or due to avidya, nescience. If you are bitten by a snake called ajnana, ignorance, the only specific medicine to dispel that is brahmajnana as the medicine. Brahmajnana is the only medicine to dispel that. Nothing else. There is nothing else. All the Vedas, Karmakanda, Shastras, Mantras, they can't be the real medicine. Brahmajnana is the only medicine. So remember that. To remove avidya, only jnana is important. Jnana is required. Jnana will elevate you and lead you. That is the point here. So Brahmajnana or Atmajnana is very, very important to release you from the bondage of samsara, to dispel this ajnana as a disease. As all Mahatmans have said, Acharya Shankara Bhagavat has said elsewhere, our Gurudev was fond of these phrases. to get realized or to succeed in this path of spirituality. To succeed. Our Gurudev used to say the same thing, what all other Mahatmas have said. Acharya Bhagavad has said. For this Atma Vichara, for this inquiry, self-inquiry about the nature of Atman, who am I? That is Atma Vichara. Nididhyasana, part of Manana, part of Manana. So for this Atma Vichara, to know about my reality, to know really who I am, to understand the truth in the correct perspective, 4 things are required. All Mahatmas have said, our Gurudev has said the same. Acharya Bhagavad already mentioned that point somewhere elsewhere. 4 things are required. 4 varieties of grace required. What are the 4 varieties of grace or krupa required? One is Ishvara Krupa is required. The grace of Lord, grace of God is required. Second is Veda Krupa is required. The grace of Vedas. Vedas means here Upanishads. Please remember. Grace of Upanishads. Grace of Veda. So Veda Krupa is required. Third one, Anthakarana Krupa is required. That is the grace of your own mind. Your own Anthakarana is required. The fourth and the most important, Guru Krupa. Finally, the grace of the Sadguru is required. For to proceed further in this sadhana mode, in the mode of spirituality, to reach to the pinnacle, to ultimately realize the reality, to ultimately understand and experience myself about myself, to know by experience exactly the mystery of being, the mystery of creation. Who am I really? So this first-hand information, the first-hand knowledge, the first-hand personal experience called aparoksha anubhuti, direct experience. Until you have the direct experience, all that you know is only padartha jnana or intellectual understanding, adhruda aparoksha jnana, only intellectual understanding. By your logic and mind and intelligence, you know that you have understood the subject. You think that you have understood everything. You believe that you have absolutely understood everything. It is not like that. 4 krupas are required. Grace in 4 ways. Number 1 is Ishvara Krupa, grace of the Lord, grace of the God. All Mahatmas have said. Only by the grace of the Lord you are born as a human being. And by being born as a human being, the Ishvara Krupa works in such a way that such a person who has to become a mumukshu in his birth, who is an adhikari towards spiritual life, all his basic cares, needs are taken care by the Lord. He will not have to worry about his family life. In the sense, wealth is provided, food is provided, everything is provided, and there are no obstacles. So that is Ishvara Krupa. Second is Veda Krupa. That means whatever you read as directed by the Sadguru, you understand so well, Swadhyaya. Whatever you read, scriptures, shastras, as directed by the Guru, Sadguru, you will understand perfectly. That is Veda Krupa, grace of Upanishads. You will understand so quickly, correctly, precisely. Third Krupa, or the grace is Anthakarana. That is your own mind. Anthakarana Krupa, your own mind, it will grace. Your mind, remember, becomes your friend. Your mind also may become your enemy. Both ways. So the pure positive mind, Shuddha Sattva Manas, is your total friend. Mana eva karanam manusyanam bandha mokshayoho. Mana eva karanam manusyanam bandha mokshayoho. Amruta Bindu Upanishad says, mind itself is the reason. Mana eva karanam. Mind is the only reason. Your antakarana, mind, manas is the reason. It is the main thing. Mana eva karanam manusyanam bandha mokshayoho. It is responsible for your attachment and bondage to samsara, or it is also responsible for liberation. Bandha moksha. Karanam mana eva. This is what is written in Amruta Bindu Upanishad. So, Antakarana Krupa means your mind helps you to lead towards spiritual life. Your mind will not become obstacle, it will lead you to a Sadguru. Your mind will not reject the teachings of Sadguru. Your mind will develop attachment towards Sadguru. That is Antakarana Krupa. So that you develop devotion, conviction, bhakti towards the Sadguru. You develop that respect towards the Sadguru and his teachings. You develop that Shraddha in scriptures, Upanishad teachings, and Guru Upadesha, Guru Vakya, everything. That is Antakarana Krupa. And finally, of course, Guru Krupa. So with all your initial meditation, sadhana, your initial prayatna, which you have to do sincerely, finally, in the final stage, Acharya has repeated 100 times, Bhagavad Pada has repeated 100 times, that at the final level, liberation, moksha, salvation occurs by Sadguru Krupa, by the grace of the Lord or by the grace of the Guru residing inside our heart. So, the grace works in 4 ways. Without that, the Brahmajnana will not accrue itself. Without that, you will not be realized in this birth. You may take again few more births. And one fine day in a future birth, it may be possible. It may be possible. So without that, it is very difficult. Then he takes the same thing, another example. Acharya says, Nagachati vinapanam vyadiraushada shabdatah vina parokshanubhavam brahma shabdairna muchyate. Nagachati vinapanam vyadhi aushada shabdatah vina parokshanubhavam brahma shabdairna muchyate. Acharya Bhagavad Pada is so considerate. He is giving such a beautiful, very simple examples. Imagine, not now, 1300, 1200 years before in this land of Bharatavarsha. Now he says, simple example, how logical it is. Even an ordinary person will understand. ಈಗ ಮುಂದೆ ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ತಮ್ಮ, ಬರೀ ಒಂದು ಔಷಧದ ಹೆಸರು ನಾವು ಉಚ್ಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ರೋಗ ವಾಸಿಯಾಗತ್ತೇನಪ್ಪ? ಈಗ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ರೋಗ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಆ ರೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಔಷಧಿ ಇದೆ, ವೈದ್ಯರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಬರೀ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಔಷಧಿ ಸೇವನೆ ಮಾಡದೇನೆ ಆ ಔಷಧಿ ಹೆಸರನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ರೋಗ ಗುಣ ಆಗತ್ತಾ? ನಿನ್ನ ರೋಗ ಗುಣ ಆಗತ್ತಾ? ಆಗತ್ತೇನಪ್ಪ? ಬರೀ ಹೆಸರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆಗತ್ತಾ? ಆ ಔಷಧಿ ಸೇವನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಏನಾದರೂ ನಮಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗೋದು. ಹಾಗೆ ಸ್ವತಃ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನವಿಲ್ಲದೆ, ಸ್ವತಃ ಅನುಭವ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ಸ್ವಯಂ ಅನುಭವ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ಅಪರೋಕ್ಷ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಅನುಭವ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ಸ್ವಂತ ಅನುಭವ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಬರೀ ನಾನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ 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 ಅಂತ ಶಬ್ದ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಆಗತ್ತಾ? ಉಂಟಾಗತ್ತಾ? ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. Such a beautiful question. There is a specific medicine for a disease. Now I am having a disease. Now the doctor has given a specific medicine. Now instead of drinking the medicine, instead of consuming the medicine myself, if I go on repeating the name of the medicine sitting here, will the disease anytime vanish from my body? There is a question Acharya is asking. By just repeating the name of the medicine, disease will not vanish. We have to consume the medicine as given by the doctor. We have to follow the instructions as given by the doctor. Similarly, Acharya said, without your personal effort and personal experience, direct experience, aparoksha anubhavam, vina aparoksha anubhavam, without your personal experience, personal direct experience, Brahma Shabdairna Muchyate. By simply sitting, closing your eyes and repeating the name Brahma, 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 Brahma for hours together, without any practice, without any proper instruction by a guru, without following any advice, simply you sit and say Brahma, 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 Brahma like that. Will Brahmajnana will accrue to you? Even for 100 more births, if you sit and chant the word Brahma, Brahma, Brahmajnana will not accrue. See, there are so many Mahavakyas in Upanishads. 4 Mahavakyas are there actually. One Mahavakya of the 4 is Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahma itself. That's the meaning. That is, see, if what Acharya means here, if I sit and chant, start Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, I will not get liberated. Our Gurudev was very clear on this. In the Scientist Search for Truth, he has mentioned in so many ways these points in his autobiography. He has told me personally all these things also. by sitting in a corner of a room, hours together, if I chant Aham Brahmasmi, I will not get Brahmajnana. Same thing Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi also used to say for some people who were confused about his teachings on self-inquiry. In one case, in one instance, he says, he told the devotees, see, if you sit and start simply doing a japa, who am I, 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 that is of no use. Bhagavan said, no use. You must delve deeper mentally with a concentrated mind to the root of this I. What is this I? That feeling of I-ness is there, feeling of I. From where it is emanating in your heart. Deep in the recess of the heart, you have to dive, concentrate on that. Instead of that, if you mechanically sit and start doing a japa, who am I, who am I, who am I, who am I, you will never get anything. Something like that, he was making it very clear. Sometimes how we get confused by the teachings of great sages and maharshis. So Acharya has given this wonderful example. So by the grace of Guru Sankalpa, today's discourse is being closed with a short bhajan. Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwara Hari Om.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such a beautiful and mesmerizing discourse.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Okay. Shall we close?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you.